But you
What?
also have to keep your audience in mind from this perspective. I mean, there's things that you may want to talk about on stage that you think are just absolutely hilarious, they're personal, and those kinds of things. But if the audience doesn't accept it, then you're screwed. You're screwed for that material because they're like, oh, well, because you're there to entertain these people.
Mm.
No matter what you talk about, whether it's religion, politics, everyday observations, whatever, you're there to, that's your first priority, is to entertain these folks. And so there's a balance that comedians need to make. And you had talked earlier about this deafness. Well, a lot of comedians seem to have this deafness about, hey, what did the audience accept and what did they not accept? I mean, I can say from my own personal experience that, I had gone through my first divorce, and I developed material about that, and it was bitter material. And the problem is it wasn't funny, and the audience didn't particularly like it. And while it may have been funny to me, what was more important to me is that the audience be entertained, and that material went out after very few shows, and was replaced with what I can only describe as kinder, gentler material about the same thing. Does that make sense?
Does it does? But your perspective on things as a comic, that's really what the audience is interested in, and your perspective will be it'll automatically be edgy and new because it's your perspective. When things become hack is when you take somebody else's perspective or somebody else's point of view and just rephrase it into your own words.
Right.
There's really nothing new under the sun. I mean, the human race has been around for quite a while, and everybody has experienced the same thing, and that's why comedy works. Just this last weekend, I was up on stage, and prior to going out on stage, I got a phone call from my wife, and I haven't even talked to her about this yet. Stage, getting ready to go on. There's 1,500 people in the audience. I'm getting ready to go out on stage, and my phone rings. It's my wife. I go, hello? She goes, we have a problem. That's how she says that. That's her opening line. We have a problem. I'm 1,500 miles away. We have a problem. I go, oh no, what's the matter? She goes, there are a lot of mixing bowls missing.
Wow.
Mixing bowls are missing. I said, well, you've called the right person. I can be of tremendous assistance here in Pennsylvania. I went out on stage and told that story to the audience and got a laugh with it. I got a laugh just relating that story because it's real. And everybody in the audience has had things like that happen, where there's a disconnect. There's an emergency on one end of the line that's not necessarily an emergency on my end of the line, and it has to do with, I'm going to go out in front of 1,500 people and do a set, and she's calling me to tell me that there are mixing bowls that we can't find in the kitchen at home, and that sort of disconnect and dichotomy of perspectives, that's where humor is. That's where comedy lies, and that sort of thing happens all the time, every day.